I remember a long time ago, my daddy was told me about the founding of the little town of Burrows, in Pennsylvania, where I was from, and there's some very interesting historical facts about that, as well as a lot of interesting people. The original settler was James Joyce. See, now there's an author named James Joyce, but this ain't the same guy, see. So coincidentally, however, and this is interesting because it was the start of a movement today known generally as the hyphenation movement. So James Joyce met this woman named Joyce James, of all names, and they got married. Her becoming known as Joyce, she decided she's going to use one of these hyphens in her name, and she just started this whole she just started this whole darn movement where these women use these hyphens in their names, so her name became Joyce James Joyce, and they had a son, named James Jr., and a daughter, Kelly. And so Kelly eventually grew up and coincidentally married a guy named James Kelly, if you can believe that. And so, rather than her calling herself Kelly, she carried on tradition of hyphenated names, and she became known as Kelly James Joyce Kelly. Now, you can figure that all out, but, in the meantime, there was this cousin, was called Bertha Barnes, okay? Now, Bertha was a great woman. She married a guy named Richard Green, and she actually believed and picked up on this hyphenation thing. She thought that was a pretty good idea that her cousin did, so she went ahead and called herself, when she got married, she called herself Bertha Green Barnes. And they had a child named Betty who married a guy named Roy. And Roy, this hyphenation thing is called on. So about the second generation, Roy also had a hyphenated name. Roy's father was named John Burns, I believe, and mother's maiden name was Teresa Little. So his name was Roy Burns Little. Now, when he married Betty Green Barnes, her name became Betty Burns Little Green Barnes. That's just the way it is. That's the actual factual history of Burrows, Pennsylvania.